16th, 2014 liquor board docket. The first case is Kurm Mahat, Nepal House, trade name Nepal House. This is at 918-20 North Charles Street. This is a Class B beer wine liquor license, an application for transfer of ownership, request to add live entertainment, outdoor seating, and off-premises catering. Chairman, I did receive a letter in regards to this case. And I, so just wanted to make sure I got that to you.
I haven't read.
Yeah, I'm giving it to you now.
Oh, thank you.
Are you familiar with the letter?
Excited that Mr. Johnson is here. He's the one, he's the author of the letter.
All right. Your appearance, sir?
For the record, Melvin J. Kanansky, 19 East Fast, representing the applicant. It's an application for transfer of an existing Class B license. It's been for probably the last 10 or 15 years an Indian restaurant. The applicant here is going to continue it as a Nepal house. He has met with the community, met with the Mount Vernon Belvedere. Mr. Johnson is here to submit the agreement pursuant to the terms and conditions that they agreed to. The landlord, and I gave Mr. Johnson a copy I received this morning. The landlord is in agreement as long as the terms and conditions of the agreement with the Mount Vernon Belvedere is adhered to. In fact, in the case here, as I told Mr. Johnson, and the applicant, he has actually made the bar smaller, where it was like 15 spaces, only a service bar, and he's going to live upstairs on the second floor.
Now, there's also a request for live entertainment, outdoor table service, and off-premise catering.
And he does catering
What's the
through.
position of the committee? We'll find out.
Yeah.
All right, swear all the witnesses.
Raise your right hands, please.
Raise
Raise
your
your
right
right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do.
All right, so what's the position of the community with respect to these items?
Mr. Chairman, the committee has no objections to the off-premise catering or the outdoor table service. Just the live entertainment component has some restrictions attached to it that we would like placed on the license.
And they're all all contained in your letter,
Yes, sir.
and you're familiar with them?
And you're familiar, and you agree that there's
Wait a minute,
restrictions,
your
is that
name, first, sir?
right?
You're the licensee,
Applicant.
and you agree to these restrictions Mr. Johnson, the other speaker, has placed in his letter.
Yes, sir.
The letter is Exhibit 2. Exhibit 2 on the letter.
Yes, sir.
All right, anything?
Actually, he's a performer, so he's a Nepalese performer. He sings and does that. I mean, if you've ever been to, anybody been to Kathmandu? Okay, never mind.
And he speaks English.
Occasionally. No, he does.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's all.
Questions to the commissioners?
None.
I think I heard you say you were gonna make the bar area smaller?
We made it small, yes.
You've made it smaller.
So it's absolutely a restaurant. It only has a service bar in there.
Okay,
And Mr. Johnson has already verified that.
okay, all right, okay.
Mr. Chairman, would you like an
I just
original
have one
copy?
question. Are you in any way related to the owner of, the new restaurant in Charles Village on St. Paul Street?
I know them.
You know them, but not, yeah, okay.
Well, okay, Mr. Johnson, we have a copy.
All right, Mr. Johnson, you have something you wish to say?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I had an original signed copy of the agreement.
Yes.
Another copy.
Yes, we'd like to have it.
Okay, I'll put that in the file as well.
Do you want this copy of mine back? All right, anything else? No other questions? Ready for a decision?
Excuse me, Mr.
Yes,
Johnson,
sir.
what's your first name?
Steve?
I thank you.
Ready for a decision? All right, I vote yes.
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 You have our decision, sir.
Thank you.
The next item,
Yes, call the next one. You ready? He says yes.
Chris Jenin, Smokehouse Ventures LLC, trade name JD Smokehouse. This is at 3000 O'Donnell Street. This is a Class BD7 beer wine liquor application and a transfer of ownership and a request for live entertainment, outdoor table service, and off-premises catering. Staff did receive a copy of an MOU for this on the file for this, It's just not located right here, but we did receive it in email.
I have a copy here.
Okay, thank you.
For the, and my parents,
In your appearance, sir?
for the record, Melvin J. Cananti, representing the applicant. This is an application for transfer of an existing location that has both live entertainment and outdoor table service and off-premises catering. They're just going to continue what's there. I will submit a copy. They met with the Canton Community Association.
Thank you.
And that's the terms and conditions of their agreement, and they have their attached to it their normal outdoor seating guidelines, which all the places on the square are subject to, and the applicant was on a licensee at the Landmark Theaters a few years ago. He's going to join the community association, and it's just going to be a straight transfer of ownership. Hire people. He lives on Alisana Street, so he's in the community.
Present any testimony?
Can you just give your name and address for the record, please? Swear.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Go ahead, sir.
All right, I give to the board the terms and conditions of the agreement you have with the Canton Community Association. You're familiar with that, and you agree to be bound by those terms. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm there for that questions.
Any questions, the commissioners?
No questions.
Ready for decision?
Yes.
Vote yes.
Yes.
You have our decision, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Call the next case.
This is Walk to One and Dorothy Locola. This is our trade name, Chesapeake Station LLC, trade name pending, 1707 North Charles Street. This is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. This is an application for a new B, beer and wine liquor license restaurant under provision 2.08, requiring $200,000 in capital in restaurant fixtures and facility with a seating capacity of a minimum of 75 people, and a request to add outdoor table service and off-premises catering. I do have a copy of a agreement for this one as well.
Go ahead,
For
sir.
the record, Melvin J. Cananti, 19 East Fayette Street, representing the applicant. We had previously submitted to the board, and it's in the board's package, a copy of the menu. They previously were to operate the Red Parrot down on McHenry Road. I have an extra one if you'd like to have it, because I don't blame you getting hungry early.
You have yours?
I'm good.
Um,
I'm reading.
Along with that, we've already submitted a seating chart and a copy of the capital investment that was submitted to the file. We understand that the board's going to require proof of these spending of these expenditures before they'll grant the license. The city resident will be working there part-time as a hostess. She's been a hostess at various places, High Tops on New York Road, High Tops down in Fells Point, Bay Cafe. So she is familiar with the operation.
All right, swear all the witnesses.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
All right,
Again, I'm sorry.
Mr. Kudensky, run us through the amount of money that has already been spent.
There's been, you could tell how much money has been spent, and this is projected to be spent. Go ahead.
400,000.
Wait, again.
No, so 400,000,
Has been spent.
No, how
No,
much
how much?
has been spent so far?
around 200.
Actually, out-of-pocket money.
Oh, the pocket money. Oh, I got, I take a look at it.
Yeah, this is what you submitted.
Yeah.
This was actually spent.
Okay.
You can ask him questions.
Yeah, is this the actual money that's spent that you gave me, where it shows $200,000
Yes,
here?
absolutely.
And the budget is 400,000?
400, exactly right.
You understand that you'll have to submit proof of all these payments before they'll give you the license?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, anything else?
And nothing else will submit.
Questions, Commissioner?
Somebody in this application, did he work for Mel Kudensky? Who's that person? Was he a good employer?
On record?
So I'm stuck for another 5 years?
I'm good, I'm good.
Does he pay a living wage?
Madam Commissioner, I want to let you tell you one thing here that's important. She's wearing a heart monitor now because Yellow
If he starts beeping, you,
Thank you.
You know what to do.
okay.
Exhibit 1 and 2.
So,
Exhibit
I do,
one.
I
Okay.
do want to understand, you are an employee of Mr. Kudinski's office, correct? But you also intend to work at some amount of time as a hostess at this location, and you serve in that capacity at several other locations? In the past, so you'll only be doing that at the, is this going to be the Red Parrot Asian Bistro?
Yes.
Okay. And you're on the license in order to, at least in part, to meet the requirement that there be a Baltimore City resident on the license? Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. All right, thank you very much.
Commissioner, thanks for cleaning that up.
Oh, that's
Exhibit
what
two.
I do.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Submit.
Any other questions of the commissioners? If not, ready for decision? Vote yes.
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 You have our decision, sir.
I just gotta give him a check down
Check.
there.
Call the next case. If they're ready.
Okay. Tom Chiyu Sushi Inc., trade name Chiyu Sushi. This is at 608 South Exeter Street. This is a Class B beer, wine, liquor license, an application for transfer of ownership, a corporate name change.
For the record, again, Melvin J. Kanansky representing the applicant. This is just a transfer. Mr. Chu has been the licensee at this establishment for a number of years. He, due to his accountant, has to form another corporation. He wants to transfer the license to his new corporation. Exactly the same ownership, exactly the same people working, other than he's required to, he formed a new corporation, and he's transferring the license to his new corporation. If you can, I have the copy of the old one. You'll see that he is a licensee on that, the one it's coming from. So it's just technically a transfer of assets to a new corporation.
Exhibit 1 and pass it on to the other commissioners.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, actually, I have a couple extra copies. I'm sorry.
Got an extra copy? Okay.
Okay. I will-
Questions, commissioners?
None.
No questions.
Ready for decision?
Yes.
Vote yes.
I'm to keep this?
You can keep that. Mhm. Yes.
One second, I made a mistake there.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Call the next case.
Santos Hernandez and William Gutierrez, Mico Malito Restaurant. This is located at 2101 North Charles Street. This is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license, an application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor license restaurant under Provision 2.0, requiring $200,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures, facilities, and a seating capacity of 75 people. I do have an agreement from,
Wait a minute,
Oh.
haven't got anybody here.
Oh.
Is this your case?
Yes.
All right, enter your appearance.
For the record, Melvin J. Knansky representing the applicant.
boom, got yours. Okay,
All right,
Ms. Wade is here also.
okay,
okay,
good.
swear all the witnesses.
These are actually 5 copies.
Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
All right,
For the
Mr.
record,
Kudetsky?
again, Melvin J. Knansky representing the applicant. This is an application for a Class B license. This particular establishment has been there approximately a year and a pretty good community citizen. Met with the community. Ms. Wade is here with the agreement. The previously submitted the floor plan, the menu, and the capital investment is probably around $250,000.
No, I notice we don't have a signature by the owner on this agreement.
Well, I think that's what they were working. He has it now.
All right, do you want to switch papers?
Sure. I need one for each of the commissioners.
Okay.
I'm Sharon Guida for the record, Charles Phillips, Civic Association Land Use Committee.
Has everyone been sworn in?
If I can, Ms. Quee, you met with the, Mr. Jones, you've met with the applicants and went over there, and you're familiar with their operation, is that correct?
Correct.
And pursuant to that, you entered into the agreement that they have signed, and everybody's satisfied with that agreement to be made part of the record?
Yes, and the agreement is with the applicants and the property owner, and Charles North Community Association, Charles Village Civic Association, Old Goucher Business Alliance, and Old Goucher Community Association, all of which come together through the CVCA Land Use Committee, of which I chair.
All right, now take us through the money process.
He spent about $250,000 so far. Unfortunately, I was given this yesterday, and I'll have to get this together for the board,
All right,
and I will submit it prior to the license being issued, but as you can see, I just didn't have the time to,
Mr. I can't hear what you're saying.
you can't.
But you're over here.
You're always so hard on me. So I do have but I'll have to get these together. I just got them yesterday to submit to the board. It's well over 200,000. We will show proof, because the place has been open and operating for about a year.
Yes.
Yes, and so he actually has the money that was spent. I just have to get it to the board.
well, this money is spent for capital, not operating expenses.
Right, correct, for fixtures, furniture, fixtures, equipments, tables, chairs, restaurant equipment, et cetera.
All right,
And
any-
also, I'm sorry.
One question, we may have to cancel this hearing. The seating plans I see here shows 70, I'm sorry, maybe it's 80.
I had 80 seats,
Let me-
50 and
let
30.
me count again. Let me go back again. I do apologize. Just give me a second. No question.
And then we do have also letters, I don't know if you've seen this, people have signed, about 100 people who are basically their customers that are in favor. You want one, then, Sharon? Okay, thank you. We would submit at this point.
all right, you going to present any testimony?
I think you want to state your name and address for the record, please? Get your name and address.
2101 North Chelsea Street.
What's your name?
Nana?
It's Nico Malijo Restaurant. My name is Wilson A. Gutierrez.
I can't hear these. They need to get down by the microphones, and people need to speak one at a time. Please scoot down to that microphone. for me. I can't hear you.
Get on this one here.
And what is your name?
Right, my name is Wilson A. Gutierrez, and the address for the business is 2101 North Chelsea Street.
And let me ask you the question, the agreement that you signed is your agreement, you agree, is that correct?
Right.
And you agree to do everything that's in that agreement?
Yep.
Okay, and you've been there about a year?
Yep.
And you understand that the board's gonna require you to get that whole list that you sent me in the bag together and prove that you paid over $200,000 for tables, chairs, fixtures, and equipment, or else you can't
Yes.
get the license. You understand that?
Yes, we approve of that one.
Okay.
All right, Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2 are the two exhibits that have, questions, commissioners?
One thing to Ms. Guida, you understand that these conditions will be made part of your license. You understand that?
Yep.
Okay.
I guess I just wanted to confirm that there is someone on this license that lives in Baltimore City. Who would that be, and what is the address? If you could state his name and give his address, please?
Santos Alberto Hernandez, 7751 Eastdale Road, Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay, thank
In
you.
the zone?
Tico?
Zone,
Zip code.
zip code.
Yeah, 21224.
What part of town is that in?
Dunda.
Dundon, near close to Dundon.
That's the county.
No, the part of it is in the city there,
In the city.
Eastdale. Runs that way.
And you're telling me that his address is in the city?
You said that.
Okay.
They check. And then he actually works at the restaurant.
All right, so I think what we ought to do is just confirm that that address is within the city limits, and that would be an additional condition
It
on
is.
issuing the license. It is?
Yeah,
Okay,
we did it,
great.
when we did the Photoshop.
Great,
It was
Okay.
part of my due diligence.
all righty.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions, commissioners?
No?
All right, any other testimony? Ready for a decision? Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
you have our decision, sir,
And we'll provide the proof.
and conditioned upon the conditions that you stated.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you for coming. Tell me when.
Are they gonna come back with a check? Okay. When? Today? No, okay. I don't,
Call the next case.
Sarjil Ahmad and Dal Ahmed Sophia Sarush. This is 786 LLC, trade name One Stop Shop. This is a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license, and this is an application for transfer of ownership.
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky, 19 East Fayette Street, representing the applicants. This is a transfer of an existing license located at the particular address at this time, and the two individuals are here. You want to state your names and address for the record, please?
Sharjeel Ahmed, 4015 Fairhaven Avenue, Curtis Bay, Maryland, 21226.
And this is your,
Daud Ahmed, 8326 Chestnut Farmland, Wicked City, and
Are you okay on that?
I couldn't hear anything he was saying.
Me either.
They need to be over there by that.
You have to be by
we'll
this
put them
one.
over here. How's that? Is this better?
Take that mic down.
Okay.
Why don't you get over on this side? And here, and speak up.
It's actually, he picked it from here, that's the reason why.
My name is Sharjeel Ahmed. My address is 4015 Fairhaven Avenue, Curtis Bay, Maryland, 21226.
Now, this Cypress is right there on the edge of Brooklyn and Curtis Bay, is that correct?
Yes, Pennington and.
Are you in Curtis, is this right around Pennington Avenue, right on the corner?
Yes, it's on the corner of Pennington.
Pennington and Cypress?
Yes, sir.
And you're on the edge of Curtis Bay?
Yes, right there.
And that's where you live?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your name, sir?
Daud Ahmed, 8326 Chestnut Farmland, Wicked City, MD 21043.
Who is Daud Ahmad Sophia?
That's Dallin.
Daud Ahmed,
That's you?
yes.
Okay. And your address?
8326 Chestnut Farmland, Wicked City, MD 21043.
Okay. All right. Anything?
All right, you want to swear him in in case he has any
Yeah,
questions?
swear him in.
Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right.
All right,
Any other?
state your name and address for the record. It's one when they met with the community. Just give your name and address.
My name is Sharjeel Ahmed. I address 4015 Fairhaven Avenue, Curtis Bay, Maryland, 21226. I met and spoke with Mr. Andy Dice, who was the Curtis Bay Business Association president, and he's aware of our transfer of ownership and is in support of it. And we've also been a part of the community and the business association for the past 14 years. We have 2 other establishments in Curtis Bay.
Questions, commissioners?
And we've confirmed that this is about, your address is in Baltimore City.
Yes, ma'am. It's,
Yeah, well, I can
Oh,
tell you it is.
You can tell me it is.
Yeah.
Okay, that is great, that's authority enough for me.
Curtis Bay is really well known. Under Armour is right there, and then
Okay.
right off of what's happening. We have a lot of traffic. The
Yes,
MTA
they do.
runs out of there and everything. So.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. I've got my bearings straight now.
Any other questions? No other
Submit.
questions?
No,
All right, ready for decision?
yes,
All right, yes.
yes.
You have our decision, sir.
Check.
He needs a
Let me know when you're ready.
Does he have the agenda?
It's just
Ready?
so much fast talking that there's just no way to follow I have to write down everything everybody says. So whenever everybody's cross-talking, I can't keep up.
Okay.
I'm trying, but
We know you're doing a great job.
we're on the record.
All right.
Okay.
And that should be on the record, you do a great job.
Well, you have the spellings of these in your docket, and so that helps. All right, call the next
Okay.
case.
Darub Sharma, Payu Jung Lee, and this is Parakesh D LLC, Sunlight Liquors. This is at 919-21 East Patapsco Avenue. This is a Class A, beer, wine, and liquor, a transfer of ownership.
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky, representing the applicants. You notice I bunched the ones over around Pennington and Curtis Bay all together. This is a transfer of an existing store Mr. Kumar has worked in the business. He worked over for his dad. He's now getting his own business. He's met with the people in the community, the business owners. He has a letter of commitment from everybody that he's talked to. He is familiar with the rules and regulations, having worked the two establishments, and I'll let him testify as to that. You want to swear them in?
Swear him in.
Right hands. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Stuff in it. Exhibit 1. And pass it to the other commissioner.
State your name and address for the record.
Dhruv Sharma, 3105 Normandy Woods Drive, Apartment E, Ellicott City.
All right, and along with that, you have met with the people in the community and the shopping center there? Your
Yes.
store's in the shopping center, is that correct?
It's a business area.
Okay, and along with that, you have familiarity with the liquor store business, having worked where?
Monumental Liquors and Dual Liquors.
Both those in Baltimore City?
Yes, sir.
And you haven't had any problems when you worked there, is that correct?
Yep,
All right, and you're going to keep the same hours of operation, et cetera?
definitely.
And you'll take the alcohol awareness course and also...
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, who's the resident? Your name, ma'am?
표정 Lee.
And I see you're on the license.
Mhm.
And your address?
425 Hardmore Bay Court, Glen Maryland 21061.
Glen Burnie.
But she has a piece of property.
But she owns
Our
a,
property is 924
Yeah,
in the store.
She owns a property right next door.
Yeah. Yeah.
do you want me to read that into the record, sir?
Yeah.
She owns a property at 923
Yeah.
East Patapsco Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21225.
Yes.
And that is your property?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else, Mrs.? Questions, commissioners?
No.
Anything else? Vote yes.
Yes.
I'm a yes also.
You have our decision.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to stand down for a little bit.
Okay. What happened to all the Irish bars that all these people used to?
We're going to have to get them back
Always-
together again.
Always did have you outnumbered.
Okay, I'll back away on that.
That was that one.
Ready? Call the next case.
The next case has been withdrawn. That was Eduardo Torres and Dominica Ramos. This is FJ Corporation, trade name pending. That's at 255 North Payson. That was a Class A transfer. We did receive a letter this morning asking for withdrawal of this application.
All right.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Tell us
Okay.
when.
Next one is Georgette Stavrakis and Harbolo Stavrakis, Best Thai Inc., trade name Darbar Restaurant. And this is at 1909-13 Alisana Street. This is a Class B, beer, wine, and liquor. This is a request to expand the 1909 Alisana Street and a request for outdoor table service and delivery.
For the record again, Melvin J. Kanansky representing the applicants. This is a place that's been there since 1997. The request is to add an additional 400 square feet at 1909. Outdoor table service. They've met with the various Fells Point community groups, both Fells Prospect and Fells Point Community Organization. And in your, do you have a sign one?
No, I do not have a sign in yet.
Oh, okay.
I have an email.
See if that's, I don't.
This is a sign.
Okay. Yeah. You have a signed agreement with both Fells Prospect and the Fells Point Community Group. They've been otherwise in business down there since, like I said, 97. Chairman might know, was across the street from used to be Vince's Sales and Service there. A guy used to sell tow motors forever. All the parties that have been in the restaurant business this whole time, they're just asking for the expansion and addition of outdoor table service.
All right. Swear the witnesses.
Raise your right hands, please. You swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Any
Yes.
I do.
I do.
So state your name and address for the record.
Georgette Stavrakis, 1510,
I'm sorry, I'm too fast. Go ahead.
1510 Round Hill Road, Baltimore, Maryland, 21218.
And along with this, this is your signature, and you're agreeing to be bound by the terms and conditions
Yes.
of both the Fells Prospect and the Fells Point Community Group. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And we submitted a copy to the board, and if you want to get your son, give your
My
name and address.
stepson.
Hi, my name's Haralabos Stavrakis, 29 East Burke Avenue, Towson, Maryland, 21286.
And along with that, you are also familiar with the terms and conditions of this agreement, you agree to be bound by and be part of the license, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
All right, Exhibit 1.
Chairman, we do have the original signed in the file. so-
Okay, fine.
Okay.
We'd submit.
All right, sir, and your name, sir?
Spiro Stavrakis, I'm the husband of Georgette Stavrakis and the father of Mr. Haralabos Stavrakis.
All right. Anything else? Questions, Commissioners? Anything? No?
No questions.
All right. Anything else? Vote yes.
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 All right, thank you.
You have our decision. Tell me when you're ready.
His name was
Spiro.
Spiro?
Spiros. Okay.
Call the next case.
This is Blake Smith, David Smith, and Chris Becker, Bagsby's Bistro LLC, trade name Bagsby's Pizza. This is at 1006-10 Fleet Street. This is a Class B, beer, wine, and liquor. This is just an application for transfer of ownership, and the other items have been deleted by the applicant.
That's correct, and it's not even, for the record, Anastasia Nardangeli representing the applicant.
How do you spell your last name again?
N-A-R-D-A-N.
N-A-R what?
D as in dog, A-N-G-E-L-I.
E-E?
G-E-L-I. That's
I'm
correct.
sorry to have to ask you every time.
That's okay. So this is technically, we're not transferring ownership. The entity that owns that is on the liquor license is going to stay. There's 3 individual applicants named on the liquor license right now. That would be Blake Smith, David Smith, and Douglas Schmidt. We'd like to substitute Chris Becker in for Douglas Schmidt just because Chris is involved in the operations of the entity and Douglas Schmidt is not. It makes more sense to have Chris on the license. Chris is a Baltimore City resident and he
Is
meets
this in the old Bagby
requirements.
building?
That's correct.
All right. Your name, sir?
Chris Becker.
Have you been sworn? I don't think so. Swear the witness.
Raise your right hands, please. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
What's your last name?
Becker, B-E-C-K-E-R.
All right. Anything else?
That's all.
Questions, Commissioners?
No.
None.
Ready for a decision. Anything else? None? Yes.
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 You have our decision, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Call the case.
Alexander Smith, Promenade Ventures LLC, trade name pending. This is at 200 International Drive. This is a Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license. An application for a new Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license. Restaurant under provisions of 2B, Section 6-02-D-7. $500,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures and facilities, and a seating capacity of a minimum of 75 people. This is also a request for outdoor table service and off-premises catering.
Enter your appearance, please.
For the record, Anastasia Nardangeli and Stephen Thomas.
Stephen Thomas, I'm an attorney also and her assistant in this case.
On behalf of the applicant.
All right. Be glad to hear from you.
This is an application for a new Class B license for space that is being leased by Promenade Venture from Harbor East Parcel D.
This isn't in the big new, what's the name?
Four Seasons Hotel, sir.
Right.
Yeah, Four Seasons Hotel.
Thank you.
So you're a part of that operation, or what?
Well, the applicant is coming in and leasing space and taking over the existing space that was used for Pabu and La Mille, which were both,
Which was a licensed operation.
right, they were under the hotel liquor license. And,
You're splitting it off from the hotel?
well, the hotel doesn't want for anyone who's not involved with the hotel to be running a restaurant in the hotel under the hotel liquor license.
So everything's the same except we're going to change ownerships?
Well,
Or what?
the concepts are changing slightly. So I can let the applicant speak more to the concepts if you have specific questions, but Pabu is closed down, La Mille is closed down, and Mr. Smith is coming in with Promenade Venture and opening a Japanese, two concepts that are interrelated. It's two concepts under the same ownership and operation. It would be a Japanese restaurant and an oyster bar.
All right, swear the witnesses.
Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, sir, your name?
My name is Alexander Smith.
And you will be the new licensee?
I am, sir, yes.
You are now.
I am.
And you're operating as a Japanese restaurant?
It would be a Japanese restaurant and an American seafood house. The restaurants would be adjacent to each other. They'd be under the same LLC, operated by the same management, but they'd be two separate concepts, sir.
And you're really in the same location?
I'm in the same building, yes, sir.
Yeah. Anything else, ma'am?
But for the record, it's one lease that they're under, and
This is also Sir Jason Huss. He's ownership of the hotel. He represents the landlord there. I didn't know if you wanted to speak with him.
Mr. Panarakis, he's representing Mr. Panarakis?
That's correct.
Personally, sure. Yes. What's your name?
Jason Huss with
How do you spell your last name?
Huss.
Okay, anything else?
I'd like
Go
to
ahead.
submit two letters as exhibits. The first letter is from Jason Huss on behalf of the landlord, explaining that the landlord has contributed over $3 million in capital investment to the space. Specifically, $275,000 of that is being put in for build out just for the new concepts that are coming
Well, as
in.
I understand it, you formerly had one license for all of them.
Right.
And now you're splitting this one off, and you're using the credits for the original license to justify the amount of over $500,000 to bring it in.
That's not correct. I'm saying that $275,000 is coming from the landlord, and that's new. That wasn't used for the original license. That wasn't credited towards the original license. Mr. Smith is contributing another $600,000 plus. I have evidence of
Is or
That-
has?
has already, but it's for the new license. It did not go. Mr.
With-
Smith is coming for the new license. He wasn't affiliated with the old license.
Excuse me for a minute. Do you have all this in print?
I do.
Can you present that, please?
Yes. So the first exhibit I'm presenting are receipts showing Mr. Smith's capital contributions.
I'm going to let Mr. Jones look it over.
Okay. The second exhibit that I'm submitting is a letter from Jason Huss explaining that $275,000 of additional improvements are going towards the restaurant space now, not before when we were applying for the original license. So that gets us close to almost $1 million that they're investing. Right.
So so you're speaking, he's trying to figure out who's talking. And what did you say, sir, in your name?
Alexander Smith. There's also an additional $400,000 in TI loan coming from H&S Properties in the lease. In addition to the $600,000 capital I've invested so far, which is going to increase in cash from my bank account, which he has there. In addition to the $275,000 that the landlord is putting in, we're looking at $1.5 million project, sir.
You're going to have to sell a lot of oysters.
Yes, sir. And a lot of Japanese food.
I still have a problem with your breakdown. Somebody needs to type at some type of form that we can read so we can associate the numbers with what the item is that you're dealing with.
Okay, happy to do that.
You actually know how to do it?
No, I said I'm happy to do that.
Well, submit that when you submit in other records that they might need from you.
Absolutely.
All right, conditioned upon that, Exhibit 1 Exhibit 2.
And I'd like to present Exhibit 3, which is a letter from Harbor East Management Group explaining that the management group, as the developer of the community, is supporting this new license being issued.
Exhibit 3.
And I'd also like to state that the daily food receipts will be at
I didn't
least,
understand what you're saying.
the daily food receipts for the new operations will be at least 51% of the total daily receipts.
Anything else?
I believe that floor plans were submitted with the application. I can submit floor plans.
Are they?
They are part of your.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have those. The minimum seating requirement for this particular license is 125 seats. Now, the letter that we received from the board stated that the minimum seating requirement was 75 seats, but because the individual applicant already has Class B licenses, this will be his third Class B license that he's going to have his name on.
Michelle, do you understand that?
Yes, sir. There's a limit of 3 Class B licenses for 1 license. This is his third, and he's final unless he finds other people to put him on.
So we're okay?
Yes, he's fine. This is his last one.
And Mr. Smith, you're going to satisfy the 125 minimum seating capacity requirement, is that correct?
All right, anything else?
That's all.
Questions, commissioners?
So,
No.
I have the same concern that Mr. Jones expressed, that we are very clear that these are fresh dollars that are going in to meet the financial requirement to get the license. And also, I don't know, do we include rental payments?
Well, no,
To meet the qualifications? And I thought that was, so what you said about payment of $400,000 annual rent, that is not of any moment to us.
May I please clarify? The $400,000 is a actual loan from H&S Properties.
To pay the rent?
It's not to pay the rent.
Okay, well, that's what you said, or
No, no,
that's
well,
what I thought
I'm
you
sorry,
said.
no, those are
Okay.
TI dollars, tenant improvement dollars, but it's in
Okay.
the form of a loan that's payable back to H&S Properties. So it's an actual loan in capital that Promenade Venture LLC is personally liable and responsible for paying back to the ownership of the property. In addition to that, we have already put $600,000 cash in, and we haven't even started construction on the next building.
And do we have the proof of the $600,000?
Yes, ma'am. Those are the bank deposits and receipts
But-
that were deposited in the account over the last 3 months.
But what do they relate to? I mean,
Promenade Venture LLC to
So-
construction. You need to actually see the construction bills and everything. I
yeah,
can get all that for
We
you.
need proof of actual
Not a problem.
payment of monies
That's not a problem.
for the project.
That's not a
And
problem. And then
with
in
respect-
addition to that, we have, I'm sorry, whatever the landlord is investing on it.
Well, he wasn't about to say anything. He's chewing his gum.
Well,
But let me just, I wasn't finished. So the $275,000, we also need to have proof that that's fresh money.
That's not a problem.
Because this project is much discussed, it's much vetted, it's been around for a while. I think we're all aware of initial investments. I just want to make sure that y'all meet the financial requirement and that it's new money.
I wish it was only $1 million, ma'am, but we exceeded and we have all the documentation.
Okay, and then the other comment that I make is with respect to the letters, Exhibits 2 and 3. I don't read these as community support letters. I read these as letters from the developer or the manager of that area that says, hey, I know the project and I'm okay with it. These, to me, are not what we traditionally receive as community association letters or resident letters. I'm familiar with the space. I'm familiar with what's going on.
Right.
I've been in the space. It's a gorgeous space, but that's not enough.
Well,
We
can I
need
respond to
have
that?
those letters of support.
Just to clarify, so Harbor East doesn't have a community association affiliated
They
with
got
it.
a lot of people that live
Absolutely,
there.
and
It's
we can put
very
together-
dense- It's a very dense area now.
And Mr. Smith actually happens to be one of the residents of.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
Of course, what he says
there's
about
only
his approval is
there's
not
actually there's only
enough.
actually
Mr. Smith, you gotta just wait. So even though he lives there and he obviously supports it because he's financing it, that's not enough.
Well, can I speak on this?
Okay.
There's 175 actually condominium units in Harbor East. The rest are apartments. There's about 300 apartments, but the majority of the people in Harbor East, there's over 1,400 hotel rooms. So I think the letter from H&S Properties was showing that as the owner of the Four Seasons Hotel, that they support, and they're also the owner of the Marriott Waterfront, that they support those two restaurants, which sit at the bases of two hotels, not necessarily next at the bottom of a residential building. I think that's
Okay.
why.
So they're speaking for their self-interest, which we would expect.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's clear.
From the hotels, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And he said that you had something to say.
Yeah, so we're contributing $275,000.
And when you say we, who do you mean?
The hotel owner, the
Meaning Four
Harbor
Seasons?
East Parcel D
Okay.
Hotel LLC is contributing an additional $275,000 of new money toward work in the space to fulfill the lease obligation with Mr. Smith.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope, thank you.
Any other, anything else you want to present?
Steve Thomas, just so you can clarify,
sir?
It's Stephen Thomas. So, 'cause I know there's a concern over the money, but the leasehold improvements by the landlord have been over $3 million for the two restaurants that were built, which they're taking over. Additional money is coming in now from the landlord for leasehold improvements to this particular tenant of $275,000. In addition to that, the tenant has put in $600,000 in cash and anticipates another $400,000 to redo all these particular restaurants as they were set up. The restaurants there, they're just taking over existing operations, but redoing everything, and that required a lot of tenant improvements because of the restructuring of walls, et cetera, within the building to make them more accessible. The operations that were there before was under the hotel liquor license because the Four Seasons was running all of the operations. When the Four Seasons, which is the manager of the hotel, because I think this is just trying to clarify, did not want to run these other two restaurants, the landlord found Mr. Smith and said, would you come in and run these restaurants? He's a successful restaurateur. And he came in and with the landlord kind of restructured the plans, the development, and how these restaurants lay out within the hotel. So it would be a better operation. Unfortunately, that is costing over $1 million in new improvements in kitchen, equipment, furniture, fixtures, and leasehold improvements. And that's how the new money is coming in. So I hope that clarifies everything.
It does. So what other restaurants has Mr. Smith,
He-
since he's a successful restaurateur?
He has the
The
Uzo Bay
restaurants.
restaurant, which
The
is
Uzo
Uzo
Bay.
Bay, which is in Harbor East, and he has a Harbor East deli.
Anything else?
Okay. So just so, and then we'll end it, but to my hearing, the 3 million number that keeps being raised, that was a payment, that was an investment for the original restaurants that had the original license with the Four Seasons Hotel, and we are not counting those dollars.
No, you do not count that.
That's correct.
Correct, okay.
Only explaining
Okay.
that
That's correct.
preliminary to this, the infrastructure was that.
No, I'm sorry, I was just telling you,
Sorry.
gentlemen over here, not to speak when you're speaking, just one at a time, please.
So the 3 million, to be
Appreciate
clear
it.
again, is not new money, that's existing money in the original leasehold improvements, added to now the other money I explained, the 275, the 600, and an initial 400 will come in.
So I think we're all on the same page. The 3 million was a nice investment, but it doesn't apply to this license.
That's correct.
You know, happy that it was made, fantastic it was made, but it is of no moment for this license.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Nothing else? I'll vote yes.
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 You have our decision, sir.
Thank you.
Ma'am.
Thank you.
I need a second.
Okay.
Call the next case.
This is a review of a transfer over 180 days. This is for Anthony Obukuri, UJU Investments, Inc. This is trade name pending. This is located at 1213 Edmondson Avenue. This is a Class D beer, wine, and liquor license, and a review of transfer pending in more than 180 days.
Anybody here for the licensee? Was the licensee notified?
Yes, sir. A letter was mailed to the licensee. This licensee, this was rescheduled from another date because the licensee asked for it to be rescheduled. The matter has been pending for over 180 days, and this is the last time the board heard this was in November of 2013. We do have 2 letters from the community that were received regarding this item. So, I mean, that's what we've had on file.
Okay, we'll get to it. All right, as I look at the record here, it seems like the board approved a transfer of a license at 1213 Edmondson Avenue on November 7, 2013. It was postponed from a hearing, again, on August 21st, 2014, claimed of a family emergency. Not completed within, the record shows the transfer was not completed within 180 days. The request was for a jazz lounge in Harlem Park, which, as I recall, is Harlem Park, of course, in West Baltimore, where the Harlem Park Junior High School is, and also the park, as well as the original urban renewal, the Harlem Park demonstration block. As I look at the record, if this has not been completed, and there's no evidence that it has been, then this license has expired. I'll be glad to hear from any testimony that anybody wants to present. Be glad to swear the witnesses.
Raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Can you name, ma'am?
My name is Arlene Fisher. I'm president of the Lafayette Square Association and chairperson of the Harlem Park Housing Committee.
Be glad to hear from you. What is your view?
We're in opposition to this facility. The facility is located on a block where there's one house. It was a residential area. Most of the houses in the area are vacant. And as you said, Harlem Park is a historical community, and it's also an urban renewal community. And under the covenant of our urban renewal that was put in place in 1960, there were not supposed to be any more liquor stores in the area. There's one liquor store in the 1200 block of Edmondson Avenue right across the street, which is Old Kaplan's, if anybody knows the history of Harlem Park. There's another liquor store up on Edmondson and Fulton. And then there's one liquor store at Fulton and Landville. So there are 3 liquor stores in the area. And we are opposed to the transfer of this license. It's a residential area. It's also an area where we've just been developing the Red Line, and we're trying to encourage developers to come in to put housing. And this would definitely be a negative for anybody living next to, to build new houses with someone living next to a jazz club. There's no other commercial other than on the other side there's a barbershop.
As I see the record, though, the transfer actually was approved by the old liquor board on November 7, 2013.
With no involvement from the community. We didn't even know it.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. But then when it was back up for lack of activity, they asked for a postponement. And of course, we're here today on that issue, whether the license is still alive or not as a result of failure to do anything since the transfer was approved. And you're opposed to, your position is that you want the license dead.
Dead. Dead is good. Yes. And nothing has happened. In fact, I took a picture this morning if you want to see. It's still a vacant building, and it's still sitting there by itself. There's no parking. Even if it was a facility, there's no parking in the area unless you park in front of the residents'
How far is that from the school?
It's a block away from the school. It's right at Cary's, between Cary and Carrollton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a
School's
block.
right actually in the park, isn't it? The
Yeah,
old park.
here's the picture. No, the school, yeah, here it is.
They made an exception. Yeah.
There's 2 schools set between Calhoun and Gilmore, fronted by Emerson and Lafayette.
All right, can we have this? You
I
want
can
that
get you
back?
one. I can get you one.
No, we'll just look at it. No, you
Here's
got to
a-
tell me
here's a
where to
better-
look.
Here's a better one.
You got, all right, let me give you this one.
I can give you that one. I got a whole bunch of those.
So, where are we located now? Right here?
It's, no, it's,
I think it's up in this
no,
area.
no, that's the school. Where your
That's the
finger
school
is.
right
That's
here.
the school.
But on
2 blocks up on Cary, between Cary and Calhoun.
right here.
Yeah,
Cary,
it's right
Calhoun.
there. And I put
Emerson
an L
Avenue.
right there. Yeah, that's where it is.
You put a little circle.
Yes, I put a little circle.
Yeah.
This is a picture of where it is. It was in a newspaper when we pulled out. And it's only building in the whole block.
Was this part of the early Harlan Park demonstration block?
The whole community was,
Yeah.
yes, the whole community was, yes.
It was first urban renewal
Yes.
in the city of
First
Baltimore.
in the United States. We were the first
I think it
ones.
was. Are you going to give us these?
I
Or
can
you
give
want
you-
these
I can
back?
give you the one with the map.
You want this one back?
Yeah, we can make a copy.
That's all right.
Just make sure you get it. Let me take the,
I'm sure I can pull it up.
yeah.
All right, any questions, commissioners?
None.
No questions.
All right, come over, sir, you want to testify? State your name.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Marvin Cheat. I'm president of Matthew Henson Neighborhood Association, officially representing the Alliance of Rosemont Community Organizations. We are 29 community organizations in and around the area. We're strongly supporting the Harlan Park Neighborhood Association's position on this, but we also indicate that they are in violation of the 180-day opportunity that they had to do something. They have done nothing with the property. Our position as 29 organizations is to continuously oppose these liquor stores coming up in our areas. And with this being an urban renewal area, an area that there was an agreement years ago that we would no longer have additional liquor stores, we ask and plead that you close this down and shut this thing down. They've not done anything. They've had opportunities to improve the property. Unfortunately, we were not notified either, 29 organizations, about the transfer, so we can't argue the transfer. That's a done deal. But the fact that they're non-compliant at this point, we think it should be removed.
Any questions, commissioners?
No questions.
I'm ready for decision.
Yes, I vote no.
The bar is extinguished. I mean, the license is extinguished. That's my vote. And your vote?
No. I agree with you. Let's make sure we get that right.
I concur.
We have 3 concurring votes that the bar license is gone, period.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much.
And this is Exhibit 1.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, call the next, you ready? Call the next case. Last case for the morning.
Yes. This is Richard Kraus and Themilis Simonidis, Maramar Inc., trade name Horse with No Name. This is at 2324-32 Boston Street. This is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. This is a request for a hardship of extension of 10504D.
All right, give your, enter your appearance.
John A. Pica Jr. on behalf of Mr. Kraus and Mr. Smiroulis. Mr. Chairman, I sent in 4 groups of exhibits or documents.
Yes, they're here. Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead, Pat. Once each member. I'd like to enter each document as exhibits right now, sir.
All right, they're,
Was I to go over each document?
you're offering the combined exhibit list as Exhibit 1. Is that correct?
Exhibit 1, and then, well, within it, say exhibit
And
A,
all the
within
exhibits
exhibit A,
inside.
There's 1 through 12.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead, sir.
Would you like me to go over each exhibit briefly?
I'm going to let you present your case in any matter in which you
Okay.
think is appropriate.
So Exhibit 1 is a letter from the board to the licensee giving him a notice of a hearing, which was postponed to today, and then a letter from Mr. Richard Kraus requesting an extension, which is within the 180-day period. There's an invoice number, Exhibit number 2 is an invoice. Exhibit number 3, that's for payment of the 2014 license fee. Exhibit 3 is an affidavit of Mr. Kraus, which we'll discuss briefly in a minute. Number 4 is a project summary, which is the beginning of his efforts to either improve the property or lease the property or bring in a new tenant. Exhibits 5 through 10 are Facebook printouts for the 5 different restaurants of La Tolteca, which is going to be the new tenant, we hope. And Exhibit 11 is the lease agreement with the new tenant, which we hope takes place, we hope we begin in February of 2015. And then 12, Exhibit 12 is a correspondence with the community. Under Article 2B, Section 10405, a license expires after 180 days of ceasing to operate as a business or failure to serve alcoholic beverages. That occurred on March the 24th was the last day of business for the horse with no name. 180 days, I actually used 6 months to go to September 24th. It's actually September 20th would be the expiration date. As you see in Exhibit 1, the second letter in Exhibit 1 is a letter from Mr. Kraus requesting, he worded it differently, but he's requesting a hardship extension. I think he worded it as reopening the license. So if you'll take a look at Exhibit 3, members of the commission, it's an affidavit from Mr. Kraus. So if he were to testify, he would state that beginning in 2013, he made the following efforts with 16 different entities, individuals, or developers, beginning with Mike Burton of Urban Design Group. And Urban Design Group, you'll see on Exhibit 4 is a project summary where he hoped to build a multi-use, multi-family housing project. That did not turn out because we couldn't get the proper financing for it. There's a height restriction of 60 feet, and we'd have to go 45 feet. We'd have to go higher than that, than what zoning allows, and we weren't able to demonstrate and get a loan from a bank to finance such a development. If you look at each one of these 16 different negotiations.
Well, give us the dates when the bar closed and so forth.
Bar closed on March 24th, 2014, and Mr. Kraus filed for an extension of a hardship on September the 8th. So the 6-month period would have ended.
Within the 6-month period.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Chairman.
All right. So those are the key dates, aren't they?
Yes, sir. So we now have, in the affidavit, it states, which was, I think, as of 2 days ago, in the morning, he handed it to me. He was negotiating a lease. We actually have a lease signed, sir, as exhibit number 11 with La Tolteca. And the operator of that, they have 8 restaurants existing today, 2 in Virginia and 6 in Maryland. They're about to open up a taco-type restaurant on North Point Boulevard, and this would be the 10th operation they have. It's Mr. David Carrillo, who is here, sir. Would you like to hear from him right now?
Well, I'm going to have all the witnesses sworn first.
Okay.
Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
And I'd like to open it up for questions from the commissioners first, and then see where we go.
I have none at this point.
I don't have any questions at this moment.
Okay.
I
Mr.
think
Carrillo,
you've
would you like to address the board and talk about your operation, what you hope to do, and when you hope to begin operations at 2324 Boston Street?
State and spell name, please.
Okay, my name is David Carrillo.
How do you spell your last name?
Carrillo. I reside 1720 East Churchville Road, Bel Air, Maryland, 21015. Basically, our restaurant is a family Mexican restaurant, sit down, waiter, and we have the bar. People eat at the bar and they drink, margarita or a beer. It's really a family environment. Just a peaceful family environment. That's it. Sit down Mexican restaurant. That's what our operation is.
Okay. Thank you, sir. All right, I'm ready for decision.
Board, there is an item that did come in from the community, and I will make sure that you get this letter that came in this morning.
What's it say?
It's an objection to the request for hardship regarding the,
On what ground?
on the issue that there have been 5 establishments at the location, and that basically the owner needs to work with the tenant, needs to work with the community more. And I provide that to Mr. Pica so that he and his client can work through that issue. since he has a new tenant and it's not the same tenant, I believe that's what the issue is, that they wanted to be able to work with the community to be able to work with the new tenants.
Well, we have an existing establishment here, though.
Yes, and this is the complaint regarding the existing establishment. But I mean, in some ways, since this is a hardship extension, this is not really. I mean, I just want to make sure that you get all of the information that has been provided to me.
But I think it's a different issue.
Yeah.
And we would request a transfer. Shortly, we'll be asking for a transfer.
Yeah. And then, of course, the issue will come up as to how you're operating and so forth. Any questions from commissioners?
None?
No.
Vote yes.
Yes.
Voting yes.
You have our decision.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, this is Exhibit
2. Okay.
And this, of course, is an exhibit.
I just feel that, I don't want to extend this, but this is the first request for extension. It will expire March 2015.
We hope to, we're going to request
Well,
a transfer hearing immediately.
Okay, that's great. Okay, because I don't think we would do a second extension is where I was headed. And it sounded like you might
we
not
agree
need
with
it.
that.
I just wanted to make the record clear. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner. Thank you.
All right, and that concludes our morning docket. And its time is, we'll reconvene at 1 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
George, you want to meet now or after?
You're going to meet, okay.
Okay, this is the October 16th Liquor Board violations hearings. The first 2 items have been postponed. So we're going to move to item 2 on the violations. Neartra Gay, Everyday, LLC, Everydays. This is at 1600 Abinson Street. This is a Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor. A violation of Rule 5.03, Class BD7. The holder of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license must operate the premises consumption of establishment with on-premises consumption. This was happened on September 19th, 2014. The liquor board staff found the operator conducting packaged goods sales, but the tavern portion was not in operation.
And the licensee, where is he?
She's out of town. I'm the manager.
Come up, please. Get before the mic.
She's out of town visiting family. I'm here as the manager. It's Calvin.
Spell that.
M-I-M-S.
Can I say something?
All right, swear all the witnesses, please.
Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Before you start, may I say something? Mary
Certainly.
Pat Clark, Baltimore City Council. Mark Washington is definitely on the way. He's the executive director of Coldstream Homestead Montebello. And of course, although we knew we were on the 1 o'clock agenda, I guess he probably figured we,
Want us to put it aside and take the next one?
would you?
Yeah,
Do you
sure.
mind, sir?
He says he's okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
I really need
Well,
to.
we only have 2 cases, so I'm going to.
No, I mean, I'll go on if he's not here by then. This gives me a chance to call him, but he's usually quite prompt.
Okay, we'll take the other one
I'll
and then
go out
come
and
back
call
to
him.
you.
Thank you.
Call the next one.
Kun Lee, Chang Boom Park, and Jin Young Yang Park, Green Bottle Liquors. Trade name is Oxford Tavern. This is located at 1741 West North Avenue. This is a BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license, violation of 5.03B, Class BD7. The square footage devoted to the packaged sale goods must be at all times subordinate and accessory to the tavern lounge operations, which must be maintained as described in this rule. Only square footage accessible to the public shall be considered accessible to the public, determining in compliance with the section. The board, in consultation with the zoning administrator, City of Baltimore, shall have the final authority in determining whether the license is in compliance. This is when an inspector on September 7th, 2014, found that patrons were denied entry into the tavern establishment, and stock and other items on the counter were in the tavern area, and this was not open to the public.
All right, swear all the witnesses, please.
Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do.
All right, and Inspector Howard, come on over to the microphone. And on the 7th of September 2014, you had occasion to go to 1741 West North Avenue?
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
what, if anything, did you find? And as a result of that, what did you do?
On Sunday, September the 7th, 2014, at approximately 1:50 p.m., part-time inspectors Cleve Brister and Wendell Wright, as part of a Sunday task force sweep of BD7 establishments that also have a packaged goods department, entered the Oxford Tavern, attempted to enter the tavern area for service. The owners refused them entry and stated that the back was closed. At that point, Inspector John Howard approached the tavern. Several citizens, seeing my badge, complained that the owners would not allow them to enter the tavern to watch the game. As I stood at the door, a citizen attempted to gain entry to the tavern area and was denied entry. I identified myself and asked the owners why were a citizen being denied entry to the tavern. Mr. Kang stated that his TV was out of order. I reminded him that the tavern area had to be open and operational when the packaged goods area was open. There was stock and other items on the counter which clearly demonstrated that this area was not open to the public. I issued a violation 5.03, not operating as a BD7, and gave instructions that the tavern area must be open to the public whenever packaged goods are being sold to the public. All other license permits and distributors items were up to date.
And did you have occasion to ever go back after that date?
Yes, we did.
And when was that?
That was 1 week later.
And what'd you find?
At that time, part-time inspector Wright was allowed entry.
So did you personally go back?
Yes, I did.
So you were with Inspector Wright?
Yes.
And you were allowed entry, and tell us more. Tell us what you saw and what happened.
Well, at that time when we came in, Inspector Wright, he went in and purchased a soda, and then I came in and everything was...
In the tavern area?
Yes, in the
It's
tavern
open.
area, yes.
Open to the public?
Yes.
Were the doors all working? Is any other customers in there?
No, sir.
Was there a barmaid or bartender?
Only the guy, he was working both sections.
Both sections, both the packaged goods and the bar?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions, Commissioners?
Just one thing, do you have to have more than one employee when you have the tavern open? To your knowledge?
To my knowledge, no.
All right. Do you have any other testimony you wish to present, Inspector Howard?
No, sir.
How about your fellow inspectors? Pardon? State your name, please, sir.
Wendell Wright.
And you are an inspector? It's your assignment?
Correct.
And you heard the testimony of Inspector Howard. Would your testimony be the same?
Exactly the same.
And who's with you?
Cleveland.
And your last name, sir?
Brister.
Briscoe.
Brister.
Brister.
T-E-R, yes, sir.
And your assignment?
To...
Your assignment of the liquor inspector?
Yes, sir.
And were you present during this occasion?
The first occasion, I didn't go to
First
second.
occasion, but not the second.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything to add or subtract?
No, I don't.
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Any questions, Commissioners?
None.
All right. Now, ma'am, who's going to represent the licensee?
Wasn't me.
And your name, sir?
Tim Paul?
Chang Park?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any questions you want to ask the inspectors?
So what is the result? But usually we open the
Ask
back door.
ask him.
We usually open the back door. I don't know, somehow happened at the time. So you told him, you already, after weeks later, you went there and you checked the,
You understand
bars
the
are open,
question?
right?
No, I didn't.
All right. Anybody can help out? Any?
He's asking why did he get the violation? He says normally the back door is open, normally they're in operation.
Right. Mhm.
And he does not understand why they were found to have violated the rule.
Well, you were violated because at the time that these gentlemen, that these inspectors came in, someone told them that the back was closed. And,
Excuse me?
Yeah, we always open,
And,
but, okay, go ahead.
One at a time.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
and and the reason why we, you all were, put on that list for the task force, because in June, and Inspector Ray, who's the reason why he's not here to testify, he's out sick, he went there and he was denied entry. So that's one of the reasons why we came back. And as I stated, these gentlemen did come and they were denied entry. And then I actually saw a citizen being told that the back was closed.
I don't know what happened at the time, but we always open. But I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to say anything.
No.
Do you have any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else want to testify on your behalf?
Okay.
Do they want to say anything?
We are new
All right, come up, sir. Your name?
Sunggu Kang. We are
Your last name is spelled?
Sungkoo. Last name is Kang.
K-A-N-G.
Yeah. We are new owner right now.
And since when?
Since September. August 12th. Oh, sorry.
Since when?
August 12th.
October 12th?
August 12th.
August 12th?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you want to tell us?
We are in process of ownership transfer.
And at the present time,
but I got
what kind of system do you have? Are you open in the back?
Yeah,
at
we
the bar?
always open. But at the time, the TV was not working. So the two gentlemen came in. They asked me, you can use bar, but right now TV is out of service, so you cannot watch a football game on Sunday. That's what I said. But they just left it, and then inspector came in. That's what happened at that time.
All right. At the present time, is your bar open at all
Yeah.
times when the packaged liquor store is open?
Yeah, I correct all of them.
And so if a person wants to come in and buy a drink in the bar,
Yes, sir.
they can get one?
Yes, sir. So what I'm doing is that I trying to open on Sunday, football game Sunday, to everybody come in and watch TV right now.
And the doors are unlocked?
No, always open.
Open?
Yeah.
And you're not using it for storage?
No, sir.
Commissioners, questions?
You mentioned that you open on Sundays, so people can come in and watch the football game. Are you open every day of the week?
Yeah, every day, but especially on Sunday, football game day, we completely open. Everybody come in and watch.
Well, okay, so what other days are you completely open? So,
But if they want to use the bar, first ask me to get in the bar.
but they shouldn't have to ask you to get into the bar.
No, because always door is open, but
Why do
first
they have to ask you to go into the bar area? If
Uh,
the door is open, why do they have to ask you to come into the bar area?
but because we cannot open the door all the time, but you can open it.
Can I explain?
Someone should.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think he's trying to, the door is locked. When it's people coming, we push the button, the people coming in, right? But he's trying to, on Sunday, he just opened all the way. So that's a walk through easy.
Yeah, easy way to
That's
come
why
in
he's
and
trying to do like that way. He always open. But especially football game on Sunday, it's busy. So when it's people coming in, push the button. So he opened all the way and I put something,
Okay, so if,
That's what he's trying to, explain.
okay, that's helpful, because what I'm hearing is
Yeah.
that people, the public, can always get access to that bar area. If you're open and you're selling alcoholic beverages over the counter, always, people can go in
Yeah.
and sit at the bar, always. But they might have to ask for you to push a button to let them in.
Yeah.
But on Sundays, you say,
Yeah, just-
my language would be, it's more open,
Yeah.
because you have more people,
Yeah.
and you want them to come in and watch the football and not have to ask for you to push a button
Yeah,
to let
that's
them. Is that, do I have that right?
Yep, that's true.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Oh, just, so, do you actually own the store now, or are you in the process of becoming the
already
owners?
done.
All
we are-
complete?
Yeah, we are.
And who is GLOF Inc.?
That's my.
That's you
yeah.
all? Okay,
This is the previous owner.
You're the
Green
previous-
Water Liquor license.
okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. No other questions? And any other witnesses? Come up, sir. State your name.
I'm Dr. Marvin Cheatham. I'm president of Matthew Henson Neighborhood Association, also representing the Alliance of Rosemont Organizations, an organization of 29 umbrella groups around the area. One, we want to thank the owners for joining our membership, but one of the concerns that we have is this continuous impression that they don't understand English. You know, we have gone, I've come to your place, you probably don't even recognize me. I come to your place, try to speak to someone, and I keep getting, don't understand, don't understand. We have some real concerns about what's going on with your property. We appreciate the membership that you gave us, and we're trying to get as many of our bars in our area to join us so we can share with you the concerns that we have and try to work with you with some of the problems we have. One, your bar is not continuously open. You're basically not telling this commission the truth. But we're not going to argue about that because you've almost testified that it's locked and folks actually have to ask to come in. It's real challenging having a bar open that many hours of the day. You're the earliest bar that's open, and there's continuously loitering there. We want to share this with you. We want to work with you with reference to the loitering problem. Case in point, what actually happened last week is a part of loitering. For someone to shoot and not shoot, stab someone to death within walking distance, less than a few feet from your place, is a result of the loitering that takes place there. That individual died. I actually saw him as he was dying, as the police officer was trying to give him air. And we can't get you folks to communicate with us, indicating that you don't understand English. And that to me should not be. How can you have a liquor store in a city that speaks English and you keep indicating you don't understand our English? We want to work with you. But we don't think you're being truthful to this board. We think that some type of punishment should take place. We think the article that appeared in the Sun was very correct, that we have some bar owners that basically feel they can do what they want to do. Catch me if you can. We're saying as a neighborhood association, we want to work with you, but we don't want to keep using this excuse that you don't understand English. Why are you in business if you don't understand us?
Well, did they
We want to work with you.
Did they understand you now?
I'm quite certain they do. I'm quite certain they do.
Do you understand what he's saying?
So, you know, we want to work with them. We appreciate the fact that they have joined.
So what are you asking the liquor board?
We're asking the liquor board to punish them. We think a message needs to be sent to these bar owners, especially in our area. We have 15, that they can't just do anything anytime that they feel like doing it, that they need to comply with the law, and if they keep violating the law, the community wants them shut down. It's challenging to have so many bars, and then for them not to cooperate with us makes it even challenging. We have a serious loitering problem there. Last week's homicide in broad daylight is evidence of it. We have a loitering problem there, and we need them to work with us in
Now,
this
this
issue.
is 1741 West North. What's the cross street there?
Cross Street is Fulton.
Does their bar anything to do with the loitering problem? Or?
We have a major loitering problem from Fulton and north all the way up to Pennsylvania Avenue. I would say it's not totally a liquor issue. It's a combination of liquor issue as well as a serious drug issue. We have a very serious drug problem. You can't walk from Fulton and north to north in Pennsylvania without having to wiggle your way through. We have a strong addiction problem, but we know that they are family members, they are friends. We need to work with them. We know we have folks that have a high alcohol problem in our neighborhood. So we need to work with folks. We're not trying to separate. These are family members and friends. But the fact that we have such loitering, not only that bar, but there's a bar directly across the street. A bar that we testified maybe 3 weeks ago that's selling liquor to minors. We had that problem as well, directly across the street. So what we're saying, we need these bar owners, one, to comply with the law, but at the same time, we need them to work in cooperation with the community.
So you're recommending what?
We're recommending some type of suspension. Shut them down for 2 or 3 days and let them know you should not do this. If your bar should be open, have it open.
Now, sir, you're the licensee. Do you wish to ask him any questions?
But what I understand is that, yeah, you said my neighborhood wants to shut down the bar, the liquor store. You said, right?
We think you should be punished.
Yeah, I think, but personally, you better ask my neighborhood. If they want to shut down, I'm going to shut down. Not you.
You understand
Neighbor,
the question?
my neighbor. Yep.
In other words,
I'm going to shut down.
your customers.
Yeah, my customer. If you ask my customer, yeah. I'm sorry, my English is not good enough.
I'm sure it'll improve.
Yeah, but if my neighborhood wants to shut down, I'm going to shut down. That's the
Did you understand who I represent? I represent the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, so...
I live 4 blocks from you.
Okay.
I am the neighborhood.
Because I'm a new owner, I didn't recognize you, so...
I know you did.
Yeah, because I'm a new owner.
Okay. You need to work with us.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Commissioners, questions? None?
I don't have a question, more of a statement.
Well, we welcome your statement.
I feel strongly that more needs to be done to work with the community, and by community I mean all of the surrounding organizations. It is very disturbing to pick up the newspaper and read that someone who has left an establishment that sells liquor and is then involved in some altercation that leads to death. That is beyond disturbing. And you as the owners, former and current, have the power to do something to control that situation. You can't stop everything that goes wrong, but you can do something more than nothing. And businesses should be something that happens to and that happens for and with the community, not that happens to the community. And the way your business is being operated is happening to the community. And I can't assess whether you're telling the truth or not as to when you're open and when you're not. But it is very, very clear that people cannot access the bar area unless you or someone like you decides to push a button and let them in. And I think that that does violate the letter of the law. And we're not ready to make the decision, but I want you to understand, and you do understand me, and I know this is big stuff, this is your business, but that's not how it should be. That's not the way the law is written. That's not the way your business is going to be carried out. It's concerning. It's very, very concerning when people come in and give the kind of testimony that we've just gotten. It's very concerning, and it, frankly, it's sad. It's sad for Baltimore. It doesn't have to be.
Anything else, Commissioner? Nothing? Ready for decision? Well, to some extent, I think you recognize that you're in a tough location. And because of that, you have to be extra careful about what you do. And therefore, Mr. Cheatham's testimony influences me. And I'm going to close you for 3 days, starting next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Do you understand that? And there would be a fine of, I think, what is our usual fine? $500 fine. And how much time do you need to pay the fine? You understand what I said? How much time? You can pay it now, or you need a week or a month, or what?
Yeah, I can, pay now.
Okay, $500 fine plus the cost payable now. And Monday, what's the date?
Monday, I believe, is the 20th, sir?
20, 21, and 22. Our liquor license inspectors will pick up your license for those 3 days and then restore it to you. And you have to start to use your head and learn better English so that you can control your new business. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
So you do not come back. All right. That's my decision. Mr.
I
Jones?
agree.
I agree. I
Through-
would impose a longer suspension, but I will go with my fellow commissioners and set and join the suspension.
Well, I appreciate your concurrence, but I wanted to say that the reason why I voted for just 3 days is, first of all, that's what Mr. Cheatham recommended as a member of the community, and also because of the community problem may not be entirely the fault of the bar. And I could be wrong, I'm just telling you what I thought.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, you understand? All right, next case.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Neardra Guy, Everydays LLC. This is trade name Everydays. This is at 1600 Abbottson Street, a Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor. Violation of 5.03, excuse me, Class BD7. The class holder of BD7 must operate the premises for on-consumption establishment with on-premises consumption. September 19th, 2014, Liquor Board staff found the operator conducting packaged goods sales, but the tavern portion of the establishment was not in operation.
All right, swear all witnesses.
Raise your hands, please. You swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
All right, Inspector, I'll be glad to hear from you. You have occasion on September 19th, 2014, to go to 1600 Abbottson Street. And what did you find, and as a result of that, what did you do?
Yes, sir, Chairman. Agent Mark Fossler, Balmer City Liquor Board. Myself and Inspector Michael Hyde visited the establishment on Friday, September 19th, in response to concerns that were expressed to the board by Councilwoman Clark and Mark Washington. Staff observed the outside of the establishment, and we found that the packaged goods portion to be operating. Staff then entered the establishment and provided identification to the clerk. We noticed immediately that the lights were out in the tavern portion of the establishment. Upon further investigation, we found that the 3-compartment sink was not in use. We were there approximately 7 minutes, and Calvin Mims, the manager, arrived at the location. We explained to him that the tavern portion must always be open when packaged goods are being sold. Manager indicated to us that it is open if customers wish to use the bar because he's only a few minutes away. The general appearance of the establishment is that it's in good repair. The area around the establishment, there's numerous vacant properties. At the time of the inspection, there was loud music, but it was emanating from porches of nearby residents. We also noticed that there's a rat infestation problem in the neighborhood too, but we can't say that that came from anywhere in particular. That concludes my report, Chairman.
All right, Mr. Mims, come forth, sir. You've been sworn. Do you wish to testify? Do you wish to ask him any questions? Excuse me.
Well,
About his testimony, do you want to ask him anything?
no, other than you saying
No, don't you'll get a chance to talk, but do you have any questions?
oh no question.
No questions. All right, commissioners, questions?
None.
No questions.
All right, present your next witness.
Mary Pat Clark, Baltimore City Council, 14th District, and the 1600 block of Abbotston is very much part of my 14th District. Yes, I was one of the complainants that asked for an inspection. I do not know the owner of this establishment, but I do know and see all the time what's going, just the hanging around it, which is a problem in the neighborhood. Now, what I'm concerned about is I was part of the effort years and years ago at the state to establish if you're going to have this kind of license, you have to operate as a tavern. So you have to have, you can't just operate as a packaged goods store. You have to open up and have a tavern there. People can be inside. They don't have to stand on the street drinking, but you're a tavern. If you don't operate that way, then get another license and don't operate as many days of the week. So, south of this, in the 1700 block of Abbotston, is a fairly new development in this neighborhood. It's houses that were built and are for sale, and a very responsible neighborhood, a whole block, 1700 block of Abbotston. North, in the 1500 block of Abbotston, we have some vacants, but we have a lot of responsible renters and homeowners there who I've had many occasions to work with. In between is the 1600 block that we're talking about.
As I recall, Abbotston Street is a kind of an alley type street, is
No, Abbotston's not.
it is on the lower end though,
No,
when it gets down to Pratt Street.
oh, very possibly.
Yeah.
Very possibly.
Okay, well, you're way up to.
I'm up off of Kirk
almost
Avenue.
You're almost to the park.
Yeah, I'm talking about Abbotston between Kirk Avenue, City College, you know, and Hartford Road, Clifton Park.
Okay.
So this is between.
Different street.
Yeah, yeah. But in between is this 1600 block. We are working hard on this middle block right now. Yes, there are a lot of vacants. There's very few residents left, a lot of blight. And Mr. Washington can talk more about the efforts of the neighborhood's making with housing and everyone involved to clean it up and basically redevelop it as part of the CHUM Urban Renewal Plan.
With respect to this violation,
With respect to this, I would.
What do you want the liquor board to do?
I would like the liquor board to impose some kind of sanction, but more than that, to go constantly there to help these, well, if that's possible, to get this thing operating properly, or we'll be back to see if we can close it down or to stop the renewal in the spring, so that it operates the way its license says it has to operate.
Are you asking for closing today or not?
I'll follow what Mark Washington says, what he asked for in terms of a sanction.
Okay.
Because he's in that actual block much more than I am. I'm on both sides of him in 1500 and 1700. I see. I go by.
Now, have you ever talked to Mr. Mims?
I have not. I have not.
You have never tried to, or you just?
I've never tried to. I've just observed. I know, and I understand the when I saw what the violation was, what I was concerned about was everybody loitering, standing there, drinking. I see it all the time because I'm up and down and working in the other blocks. There's not hardly anybody left in this block, so I'm not there very often, but I'm past there all the time. So when Mr. Washington asked for an inspection, I supported him because I'm tired of seeing this. And then it became obvious, well, they're not operating as a tavern. There's no place for people to be inside. There's no chance to correct this under But there should be under the license requirements.
Either Mims, do you want to ask her any questions? Questions only. Come on up to the mic.
State your name, please.
How you doing? My name is Lamont Cosby. Lamont Cosby. Cosby, C-O-S-B-Y. Lamont, L-A-M-O-N-T. And my question is, why hasn't anybody ever came to the establishment to express any concerns with the neighborhood?
With the neighborhood or with the establishment?
With the establishment. This is the first time seeing
Me?
Mr. Washington also.
Oh, I don't think so. But
expressing a concern.
he'll have to speak for himself. I have not been there, I've told the board that, but I've been past and around a lot, and not just kind of. And it is a problem. I
She
don't.
doesn't have to apologize for not coming to your tavern
No,
to complain.
but I'm answering his question.
Yeah, you are. You're being polite. She's a city councilwoman. She represents the entire district.
But, okay. I have no questions.
All right.
But
Commissioners,
Mr.
any
Crosby, I
questions?
appreciate your interest. Are you
Yes.
the owner?
No, I'm not the owner. I work there every day.
You're an
we
employee.
buy book bags for the kids. We try to, actually, is one house. The loitering problem was down, is down, is one house
Can you
in the neighborhood.
get closer to the microphone?
Is one house in the neighborhood with about 20 people living in this one
I
house.
see them too.
One house is nice and quiet, is one house, and these people are just terrible. Terrible. It's one house.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, if I may say to Mr. Cosby, I know where you mean, because I see that too. And I promise you, I will address myself to that house. They don't have a license that I can deal with, but I will address that. But I need you guys to either operate as a tavern and bring your own customers in, or hang up close the door and shut down.
We operate as a tavern. The 3-compartment sink doesn't being used because we got rid of all the glass, so we basically use plastic cups and everything. We I think there's pictures. The tabs, all it need was one person and we ready to go. Is signs, is clean, nothing on the counters. We up and ready. It just was nobody in there. That the back of that tavern probably looks better than 90% of the taverns in the city.
So is there
It's immaculate
somebody
back
that
there.
would be there that works back there?
Yes, actually, that night Calvin Mims was working there. He lived across the street in a 1573.
The night of the inspection?
Yes. He was working that night. He lived 1573. That's the corner house here and the bar's here. And he's supposed to have been over there, but it's kind of like that family. They just messing up business. They just...
Okay, I'll address the not the family, but the house and that, but you all have to figure out your own operation, and we got to have your patrons inside, or they should come in, buy what they're buying, and go home. Thanks.
We're going to get to you, sir. Got to. Now, any commissioners have any questions at this point? No? All right, sir, come over, sir, and give us your name.
My name's Mark Washington. I'm Executive Director of Coldstream Homestead Montebello Community Corporation.
And I'd be glad to hear from you.
To be fair, we have not had a complaint about Everyday Bar since we inspected about 6 years ago with the previous liquor board. The genesis for this complaint comes from the family of a murder victim who was a patron there that was exiting the bar and was stabbed on his way home. The home in question that Mr. Cosby is referring to is well known to us. The problem with the bar, if we're going to conflate all these issues, and Mr. Cosby introduced the neighborhood as an issue, is that in the 1500 block of of Abbotston Street, of the 32 homes that could be occupied, only 6 are occupied. The rest are vacant and abandoned and owned by absentee landlords. The area is so decimated, as Mr. Cosby and Mr. Mims will attest, we have started demolishing the properties in the block. In order to have a sufficient neighborhood tavern, there first must be a stable neighborhood there. As indicated by the testimony, there is no such stable neighborhood. And at 1500 block of Abbotston Street where Mr. Mims is, there are 12 vacant properties near the end of that block headed towards Kennedy Avenue. And what we have there is a cluster of blight that is perhaps second only to Tivoli Avenue, the worst in the community. Now, what happens is because of the condition of that block and of that neighborhood, it makes it ripe for that house and for those few individuals that congregate there to profit and prosper from nefarious activity. Now, I think it is unfair to lay that at the doorsteps of the bar, but the bar has to understand that in the broader context of community development objectives, we don't see a future for that bar in the area. It is the reason we're working closely and diligently with housing and community development to acquire and relocate those few remaining individuals there from that area so that that area can be demolished and repurposed for redevelopment. Right now, we are engaged in a broader case that Dana is aware of with one of the absentee landlords in the 1500 block of Abbotston Street, Scott Wizik. It is the mission of the community to rebuild the community, not to maintain the status quo. I cannot and will not say that these gentlemen have ever done anything improper. Their bar, as you all stated, is pretty clean and thorough. But the location of the bar and the surrounding neighborhood and the actions that occur outside the bar as the result of patrons from the bar, the murder, the stabbing, the fights across the street, the beating up and attacking of the girl who lives in the 1700 block, those things are a direct effect from your patrons. And so in trying to mitigate this problem, we have to ask ourselves one very important question. Is the greater safety of the broader community and those few residents in the area and the stability of the 1700 block, which is made up primarily of homeowners, worth the sacrifice of this business? And the answer to that question is no. And so that's what we have to look at. But I will not disparage these gentlemen or the operation of that bar. But it is incumbent upon the liquor board to take a look at the broader picture and to see how the operation of these businesses in an area that is completely decimated and blighted, how this business is allowed to operate and to profit. And one can only theorize and reason that the way they're allowed to operate and profit is because they attract an element from outside of the community that creates more havoc and damage to the community. Thank you.
Any questions, sir? You want to ask him any questions?
No, not really.
All right, commissioners, any questions?
No.
Mr. Washington, I can appreciate the overview you're giving us of the entire problem. But today, before the liquor board, there's only one issue, and that is, has he conducted his tavern in accordance with liquor laws? And the violation that is alleged as a result of, you pointed out, the person who apparently was hurt, the family and mad, is that his rear tavern part is not open in accordance with the law. And that's what's only thing before us today. There's no other issue. In fact, there's some conflict. One said the sinks were not in use, and the tavern owner says they are. They're outstanding. But outside of that conflict, there is none.
Right.
So what punishment are you recommending?
Before you talk about punishment,
Yeah.
I wanted Mr. Mams, I thought he was going to testify.
He is.
Because I heard in the reading of the charges that the tavern part isn't open. And someone say that, well, they can get in the back, all they gotta do is call me and I'll come open it up. And I heard that. And it's my understanding that Mr. Mims lives across the street, so the patron's supposed to wait until he comes from across the street to come to the lounge and open it up and let them in.
Well,
I don't think so.
we haven't got to him yet. We're still on all these people down here. We're going to get to him.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you, Mr. Mims.
Okay.
Yes.
So your recommendation, sir?
My recommendation would be whatever the sanctions are from the Board of Liquor License Commissions.
Looks like you got a major problem.
Yeah, and trying to address and resolve those neighborhood issues, we have to look at everything. We have to look at businesses and see whether or not those businesses are beneficial, whether they actually lead to economic impact, whether or not they lead to spurring a turnaround in the community. All these things must be taken into consideration. I was before this board before, and I said often these liquor establishments are allowed to operate in a vacuum with impunity, that the residual effect and impact from their profiting does not translate to the improvement of quality of life within the neighborhoods in which they're located. And so, like I said, I'm not going to say that these gentlemen have presented a problem to us before. The reason we haven't gotten complaints is because there is no one there to call and complain. So when you look at an area that has almost 80% vacancy, and you all know this, you live in the area, look at Kennedy, look at the lower half of 1500 block of Abbotston, look at the 1600 block of Abbotston, who's going to call to complain?
Also, community organizations very rarely exist in neighborhoods like this.
Right.
Because they've got so many problems they can't even hardly survive. All right, ma'am, do you want to testify? I don't know why you're here.
I have not been sworn. I'm just Regina Boyce from City Council President Jack Young's office, standing with.
You're
the
just
Chum
observing?
community. Yes, sir.
That's right, all right. Sir, are you, all testimonies in, now it's your turn, sir. You want to testify? Want to tell us your story or what?
Yes.
Guess your name. Again.
Again, Lamont Cosby.
All right, I'm glad to hear from you.
Okay. We tried to do our best to uplift this neighborhood. It's a bad area, and I don't think we should be punished due to the fact that it's a lot of vacancy. That one block is a little vacant, but it's people that lives around there. And like I said, we work with the kids. We try to keep a clean record.
Well, let me make it very clear. We're not punishing you for the neighborhood. You're here on a charge that you did not have the bar open. And in fact, my fellow commissioner alleges that there may even be testimony that if anybody wants to go into the bar, you have to get somebody else.
They don't have to see him. No, it's a buzzer also.
Okay, somebody's there.
Yeah, somebody's always there. You can get in the back, but
your
he'll
problem
come in.
cannot be made the liquor board's problem or the community's problem. Your problem is that you must comply with the law and have the bar open at all times that the packaged liquor store is open. You can't have it open sometime or on call, but all the time. And it can't be blocks. You can't have a hindrance. A person walks in the door to the packaged liquor store, he ought to be able to go right into the bar without being stopped or prevented because at that time the bar is not open. There's no such rule in the law. You have to be
Okay.
open all the time.
So should the door stay open?
The
to
door has to be
lounge?
open and available for customers who want to go into the bar, and you have to have somebody back there to
Yeah,
wait on.
somebody was there to,
Yeah.
working,
But I mean, so what do you have to say about that? That's
we
the charge
can leave
here
the door
today.
open. That's no problem.
Well, you're accused on the September 19th of not being open.
Can I answer on that?
You can if you, are
Yes,
you through?
mhm.
All right, any questions, just a minute, any questions of this witness?
I have one comment I want to make to Mr. Cosby. The door won't have to be wide open. It just has to be unlocked so that somebody can pull and walk in.
Okay. It's just a buzzer on the door. They
I don't think anybody would fight that if you buzz them in.
No, we have that. That's what we have. We have the buzzer in. That's what the gentleman was buzzed in. They was already there. Then I guess approximately a couple minutes later, Calvin walked in. But you always can get buzzed in and go sit down, and the lady up front have a drink. But it's usually it gets kind of dead at the end of the month. The beginning of the month is okay, but get to the end of the month, the business dies down in the back
You
part of
can't
the
make
chain.
your problem our problem.
But we are open. Yes.
Okay.
I have one question.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
How many days a week are you
7.
on? Right, and may I just say that the reason you're open 7 instead of just 6 is because you're a tavern instead of just a packaged goods store. A lot of people all over the city fought really hard to make that distinction, so that if something's going to be open in the neighborhood on a Sunday, it's not just a packaged goods store, it's a tavern where people from the neighborhood go in. Now, that's why it's open 7 days a week. And, I mean, basically, if you can't handle it, and you have to have everybody standing outside having their drinks in plastic, whatever, okay, then trade your license in for a 6-day. See what I mean? Where you can just try to get just a packaged goods store. But for 7 days, you have to have that tavern, and that you have to have the tavern. It's got to be a place where neighborhood people can come. And I know all the problems up and down, but I also know the 1500 block and the 1700 block, and I know the people in it. Lots of them, mainly because of backed up sewers through the years is how I unfortunately came to meet them, but you know, we all know each other. And I can't have that in the middle of that, even until we get able to redevelop the 1600 block. So you need to operate it as a tavern.
We will.
Okay.
And also, we pay
If
somebody
you
to
could become a
cleanse the neighborhood
congresswoman,
every day.
Then you can talk about Ebola instead of sewage in taverns.
About what?
Ebola instead of sewage in taverns.
You know what, Mr. Chairman, I'd rather talk about backed up sewers because I hate them, but I understand them. And I know what we have to do with them, and I do not know what to do with Ebola.
Now, Mr. Sims, you wanted to testify? Come up, sir, and identify yourself by name.
Calvin Mims. Calvin Mims.
Calvin Mims.
Yes.
All right, and what did you want to tell us?
On the day that the inspectors came, I had
You were in charge.
yes, and I had told them at the time
You were what?
that I had even made them aware at the time that we're open every day, we're open all the time, and just as Mr. Cosby said, during the end of the month it gets slow, and I had told them I'm in here, I stands in here, but during this time nobody's coming in, and by my house being right across the street, I was taking what would be considered as a break, not being like, okay, you call me and I'll be home and I'll come, but by being slow, I took a break, and that's why I made it clear to them. I was like, as you see, I was nowhere. They, you know, once they said someone was there, I didn't know it was an inspector. I thought it was a customer. That's why I was running so fast. Of money, you know, we love for the bar to have patrons in it. We're always open for them, but it just be slow periods, and I'm always there.
Is this your
And-
first violation? You have any record?
They do not. The only other violation within the last is a for records, which was done in 2012. So they have not had any other violations, and they're
What happened in 2012?
it's a records as far as the trader's license, but that wasn't
Oh,
a
it had nothing to do with it.
yes.
Okay.
Um,
Are there any questions of this witness?
I'm gonna come back to the same thing because someone is lying. Either the inspector's lying, or either Mr. Mims is lying. Somebody is. The inspector say on September 7th, 2014, inspector and patrons were denied entry into the bar portion of the establishment.
I mean, Commissioner, the other thing I'd like to go back to in the report is the fact that there was the note about the 3-compartment sink, and I know that the licensee has testified that they are using plastic versus glasses, but that isn't that's not in compliance with the health department. And that's part of the primary reason when we look at BD7s is that they have to have a 3-compartment sink in compliance. So I believe that the reason why my inspectors also found them in violation is because you need to have your 3-compartment sink working and in condition and order. And I believe that's what Mr. Fossler testified to was in regards to the 3-compartment sink being in operation. So I understand that you would like to use plastic, but you really do need to have a 3-compartment sink, and it needs to be in operation.
we have it.
But what they found was that was an issue, and I believe Mr. Foster can come back up and testify to that.
Testify on that. I'd like to finish my thought.
Yes, sir.
Again, you must be available. The budget system, I'm not saying it doesn't work. It may work because maybe you're trying to keep the young kids from going back in that area. I don't know. All I know is that if a patron comes in and they want to use that tavern, they should be able to use it. If my inspectors walk in that front door and pull that door and can't go in, and you don't allow them to go in, then you're in violation. Regardless of the fact that you have to take a break. We all deserve a break, but still you have a responsibility. If you want to operate as a cut rate, change your license. The councilwoman made it clear. You have an advantage over all the 6-day licenses in that area. Why should you have advantage over them? Pay the price. Operate like a 7-day establishment.
And I made that point that when I said to the inspectors when they came over, that I not too long ago left, and I made it come. You see how fast I responded once they said somebody was dead. It would be almost like taking a smoke break if I was working. Like, we're there every day, and I'm there every day, and Mark sees me. I'm there every day, every day. It's not a day that you can come in there and you won't see me.
But it's not about you being
No,
there.
but that's because I'm working. That's
That's
my manager, and they have access. They have access. We never denied anybody any entry in there. We never do that.
Well, we've heard your report. Any other questions? None?
I just want to know where the licensee is, Mr. Guy. Where is he?
She's in Florida, seeing her
That's
daughter.
a woman?
Yes,
She's in Florida?
yes,
Is she aware of this hearing?
yes.
And why isn't she here? Does she live in Florida?
No, her daughter lives in Florida, and she was going to see her daughter.
How long has she been in Florida?
She had made plans to go.
No.
How long?
How long has she been in
She-
Florida?
It's going to be. She was going to be back.
Has she been in Florida for about a month or so?
No, not. a
Okay,
month.
so how long has she been in Florida? Just tell me the answer.
I don't know because she don't. Be
Okay, that's
every
the
day.
answer. If you don't know,
No,
you
I
don't know. How long has she been in Florida?
I don't know.
Okay.
I had one other question. Could you put an age limit on who you let in the bar, or is that illegal?
Excuse me, do you not know the
No,
legal
no,
age
no,
limit?
over 21.
I mean,
like,
we
can
got a
you
lot of
say-
problems, don't we?
Can you say like 30 and over?
No.
Or you just no? You
No.
just, I was just that's discrimination.
You guys,
The-
you really need to learn what the laws are related to
I read it.
operating a bar and a tavern. You really do. This is.
We don't
It's
discriminate. The
concerning.
way that they stay
I'm not
out is we play the older music, and that job keep the younger
That's a whole
crowd.
other issue.
All right, folks, I'm ready for decision. Anything else? Yep.
I think what Mr. Cosby was getting to was something that Major Worley expressed to me prior to my coming here, which is that the operation of a 7-day establishment would lead to individuals that are problematic in the neighborhood being able to have more shelter and cover to do nefarious activity, which is why the council person suggested maybe a 6-day license. You know, as I said earlier, we were,
We're not here on that, though.
right, no, I understand, but that is also a broader concern that I know you all are not hearing today, but it is something that's relevant to the community, and it's relevant also based on the fact that, as they say, the end of the month, business dries up, which means that we don't have a stable base of homeowners that are frequenting that bar. It is transient in nature, and it does lend itself to be or act as a haven for other activity that's detrimental.
May all be true. I'm sure Mary Pat and I can sit down and tell you 1,000 experiences that both of us have had with respect to problems in the city. But here today, we're on the narrow issue of what they did and what they didn't do. I'm ready for decision. Anything else? If not,
Mr. Chairman, may I just say this? that what the question that Commissioner Moore asked was one that I regretted I hadn't asked, which is, where's the owner? And I would say that these gentlemen are down here defending something that's bringing money to them, to her.
Good point.
Should have asked for a postponement. We would have been glad to wait until she could be in town.
Well, we have to look at all the facts, and I'm ready for a decision. Here, it seems to me, and your good point, is that we have absentee ownership. And we have these gentlemen here trying to run the place in a neighborhood that has severe problems. The law is the law, and you must be aware of it. And for him to take a smoke and walk away, and whatever the reasons are, and I adopt the truth of the liquor inspector's testimony as the basis of my decision, which is 1 week suspension beginning next week, and a $500 fine. Now, the next week date is what, Monday?
You want to do it on Monday, the 20th?
20th for 1 week, 7 days, suspension. To remind you, because of the nature of your community, you have to be especially vigilant to carry out the law. And $500 fine plus cost, how much time do you need to pay the cost?
Well, before you get to how much time, I find it hard to sit here and put a week on them in the case just before that case we just gave. I know it was on the recommendation of the person from that community. And
what do you think?
I think it should be 3 days, just like we gave the last person.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll
just
adjust
only
my-
trying to be fair.
Fine. I don't know. We might have another decision on
Oh,
the
you
other.
know, I was thinking longer than 1 week, and here's why, because I think there's a health department violation with the, which is, you're not here on that, and we don't have the authority to impose health department violations. I'm, oh gosh, I've been invited to dance by 2 wonderful folk. I think I'll go with Mr. Jones on the 3 days, just to be consistent within this hearing.
3 days.
Yeah, there you go.
$500 fine and cost. How much time do you need to pay him?
30 days.
30 days to pay. All right. I join in the decision. You understand the decision?
Yes, is that
3
Monday?
days beginning next Monday.
So it's Monday, the 21st?
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you're closed.
Okay.
License will be picked up by Mr. Foster or whoever's in charge. And,
So do
and you have to
we
pay the
come
fine.
day
You
of
go down and
Monday?
make your arrangements, pay the fine of $500 plus costs in 30 days.
Okay,
You understand?
yes,
So it's
All right.
$500 plus $125 for costs,
625.
total of $625.
All right, everybody understands? All right, thank you for coming, folks.
Okay.
And we'll stand in German. Goodness
I
gracious.
know. Can I ask you, do you ever have a decision where you say, and that money cannot come out of anybody's salary? I mean, she needs to be here.
You're not kidding.
In the worst way.
You don't do that?
We don't put any restrictions on how we get us the money. We could. We could look at it, but we don't.
If I asked, I didn't, but if I did, in a
Don't go
case
there.
like this, these guys? Okay.
Bye. Hi, bye.